Oh, excuse me, y'all. Had to get that last snack in. What's going on, y'all? Anthony Lee, A. Lee Real Estate here. Getting ready to give you guys another great interview, the Investment Blueprint Live. We are going to be interviewing Miss Karima Wilson tonight. She is a nurse. She is an entrepreneur. She is a mom. She is doing it all, but she is chasing her goals. And I want to be able to share her story and also hopefully inspire some people out there who are trying to figure out how to balance having a family, having a 9 to 5, all while being able to chase that real estate dream. Because I know for most of us, the people I talk to in particular, the goal is always, how do I get out of my 9 to 5? So, it's possible. It truly is possible. I used to have a 9 to 5. It took time. You'll quit the 9 to 5, think you got the entrepreneur thing down. Things get rough. You go back to the 9 to 5, but you stay persistent. You stay dedicated, and eventually you'll reach your goal of being able to leave that 9 to 5. So we're gonna share that story with you guys. Let me see if Miss Wilson is in the chat. But for those of you, don't forget, we got a networking event next Friday, the 27th at the Fiddler Club. Hey, what's going on?
Hi,
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. And I'm saying it right, Karima, right?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. But thank you for joining us. I appreciate you tuning in.
thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that.
Now, I've been watching you for some time, so I'm a fan. And it's like whenever I get a chance, it's like, hey, let's share the story. Let's talk about it. So again, I want to welcome you to the Investment Blueprint interview. Tonight, we're going to be interviewing Miss Karima Wilson, full-time nurse,
Yes,
licensed real estate agent in Pennsylvania or in anywhere else, or just Pennsylvania?
just PA for now.
Okay, okay, for now, nothing wrong with that. But also an investor. You did your first fix and flip last year, or buy and hold?
It's a funny story, but we'll get there. It ended up being a flip. Let's just say that.
Okay, and we'll definitely talk about that. But I also wanted to share, you're also a mom. So I know sometimes I talk to clients, they're like, but I'm a female, it's gonna be tough. It's tough for all of us, honestly. Like, contractors are jerks, you got some good ones. The deals are the deals. You're not gonna pay more because you're a male or female. You just gotta get in the game. So again, I want to salute, congrats to you for being able to do all these things while being a mom, while being a full-time person employed at your 9 to 5. So give us a little bit about you and your background first.
So as you stated, my name is Karima. Hi, everybody that's here. I am a full-time nurse, as you also stated. Mom to a very busy 11-year-old athlete.
Right.
Um, so, and then also a realtor, real estate investor. Um, and I also did, look at my friend in here. He's like, you a GC as well, right? So you can tuck that under my belt as well.
Dope,
Um,
dope.
yeah. So that's just a little bit about some of, I guess, the accolades or titles, whatever you want to.
So where are you from? Let's go about that part. Where'd you from? What college you go to?
All right. So I'm a county girl.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. No, it ain't, but I'm a county girl. Um, Graduated from Widener back in 2014.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I went to
Uh,
university. So we went to school down the street from each other.
there we go. That's not bad. Newman was on my list. They didn't accept me.
Because the nursing program at Newman is tough. I do know that. I do know that.
Ridiculous. Okay.
But even to that, it shows your dedication to your goals and your dreams because you didn't let it stop you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm very much so. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I just need to figure out a different route, but it's going to get done.
So
So
what was your goal always to go into nursing?
no, um, my goal was so funny. So my goal was real estate. I'm just supposed to be this ball busting businesswoman. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like that's I've always seen myself in leadership positions or, leadership role. I got a team under me. That's just what I had always envisioned. So, but real estate always kind of piqued my interest. And I kind of grew up watching, $1 Million Listing and those shows.
Yup.
That was, I'm like, this has to be me. I don't know what else I'm going to do. But it was actually my job. I got a summer job when I was 16, and that kind of exposed me to the world of nursing. So I kind of just was like, I like nursing too. And to be honest, I equated that with just being in the business of people, like nursing, real estate really kind of almost go hand in hand as far as the qualities that you need to have.
True. Yeah. True. So what piqued your interest? Because I guess you knew early on you wanted to do real estate, or when did you get like the real estate bug? Like what was that thing that sparked it for you?
I just think for me, it was seeing my family. We are Jamaican. And so I am like first generation born here and from both sides. My mom's side of the family is all from Jamaica. My father's side of the family is all from Jamaica. And I think I saw how hard my grandparents worked to own a home here,
Mm-hmm.
but they never owned one in their own home country.
Okay.
And that was always like something that my grandma would talk about. Like whenever she would go home for a little bit, it's like, she might have to stay with one of her kids or stay set. Like she wants her own home in her home country to retire to. And that's just something that always like, I was like, I need to be able to get that for my grandma. I don't know how, but I got to work it out, like so just kind of always talking about, owning a home and real estate and me just kind of watching certain shows and immersing myself in that. It just kind of piqued my interest. It felt like something that I wanted to be a part of. And it felt like something really big. There's real estate everywhere. I mean, commercial, residential, just, there's real estate everywhere. And it's just too big of a pie for me not to get a piece of. Let's just put it that way.
I got you, but no, that's good because I mean, that means it wasn't necessarily about you. You were like, hey, I want to figure this real estate game out because one day I'm assuming on your bucket list is to help your grandma get land in her country.
That's right.
And you're going to do it. Say it again.
Which she has gotten since me saying that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, I mean, wait. So you did help grandma get it?
I helped. It wasn't what I thought. I thought I was just going to write a check and write. No, we all came together as a family and made it happen. But she's got her house.
But that's dope because I'm sure you helped communicate it and you were a part of that leadership to get it. I mean, you, the rest of your family, kudos to you guys because again, that's that generational change. And even though it started with you, the younger generation, but you gave back to the elders who helped get you in position. So when you talk about paying homage, that's phenomenal.
Thank you.
That is really phenomenal. And I mean, again, it all came from, I tell people real estate is a game changer. Like our community, Jamaican, African American, whatever you want to call it, I don't think people realize the impact of you don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be, a rapper. There's so many other ways. And real estate is like I feel like the fundamental thing for anybody really to break generational curses.
I agree 100%. You don't have to be or have a flashy title or anything. You just need to be driven, I think.
Say that again. What's that word? Say it again.
Driven.
There you go. I need people to hear that.
Yeah, you do. Because real estate is also not, it's not for the weak. I will say that. We'll get into it, but I have learned that. So my little tears and everything, like, listen, Sam, about my feelings and how I feel about it, I learned that very quickly. So.
But when you say not for the weak, why? Because I want to pivot to that that driven, right? So when I say driven, you got to know what the goal is and be driven by something more than just chasing the money or chasing what you see on social media, right? So you were driven by a goal, but then you
that whole concept of your big why, right?
yep.
That's something that I've heard for years, and you know, you kind of like, they're like, what's your why? And you write it down, but you know what I mean? Like, you go to a seminar and like, what's your big why? But
Make 20,000. I want to make $30,000.
and then you write it down, and but then the whole thing about it is like, why is this your why? Because that is what is going to keep you working, being consistent, chipping away, and propelling you forward. And for me, my big why is my son and my family. Maybe my little why is wanting to retire early and live lavish. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Hey, look, it's nothing wrong with it. I'm learning throughout the journey. You can actually get it as long as, like you just said, you stay dedicated to it, and there's nothing wrong.
No, I'm not. There's that meme that always makes me laugh. It's like, we are different. I want, you know what I'm saying, these, and then you want the, excuse me, I want it all. I want these, the Louis,
The Gucci, the Louis, right?
Don't put your limiting beliefs on me. I feel like I can have all of that, and I work hard enough to make sure that I can. So, you know, that's one meme that always gets me.
So what happened with you in regards to the part where things got rough? Because you said you had to be driven, so it was like, when's your drive kick in? Like, what went wrong, or what was the issue during your real estate journey?
So I think the issue okay, so let me go back to the beginning. So I graduated college in 2014.
Okay.
But like a crazy person, you gotta, like, I also decided to do real estate school while I was in nursing school.
Nice.
Remember, I told you I hadn't always wanted to be a nurse for the longest time. That was the profession that I really fell in love with because of a job that I had, but real estate was always there for me. So while I'm chipping away at nursing school, which nursing school is very, like, difficult, like, it's not easy.
It's intense.
It's very intense, but I still was like, but I want to do that too. So let me say, I finished up my junior year, and then a couple days later, I started Temple Real Estate Institute. And I did summer 1, summer 2, and I went through the whole thing. I did in person.
Okay.
And I got my license by like the end of that summer.
Nice.
So I'm like, all right, all I got to do is finish up my senior year. Listen, all I got to do is finish up my senior year nursing school. Like, I don't even know what I was thinking. And then, like, you know, I'll be a nurse and a realtor at the same time. So I got my license and I joined a brokerage. I'm not going to say which brokerage, but I joined a brokerage and I started business cards. You know, you hit the ground running. You're like, I'm a realtor. I'm about to kill it. Brokerage's top agent, and, like, you know, I had very big. But one thing about nursing school, it will seat you from like everything that you have going on.
Right. No social life, straight locked in.
So what I would do is I'm a new agent. So, you know, I'm trying to learn from other agents. And then, you know, you join the brokerage and they kind of onboard their new agents, and you go through whatever curriculum they have for you. And so I'm doing open houses every weekend. Like, I am, okay. So then fast forward to me graduating nursing school in 2014 and then getting my first nursing job. Literally, I had to step back from real estate altogether because nursing consumed my entire life. Like, one thing about nursing school, it's like you learn to be a nurse, you learn to pass, you know, the NCLEX exam, but there's real world versus book world. Okay. And you know, it's like that in real estate too.
Right.
Right. the real estate school teaches you how to stay out of jail and pass real estate
And how
exam.
to read contracts. That's it. That's it.
But you learn how to be an actual realtor when you know, it's hands-on. It's like you gotta, it's not, you're not getting that from real estate school. So nursing school is essentially the same. And so I actually went for, I guess would say that I was like part-time realtor for a year and then had to completely like step away from it and focus on nursing to be a good nurse and everything that I needed to do. That's what I needed to do.
But with that though, so I'm saying nurses have a special place with me. So my best friend, she's a nurse. My mom is an anesthesiologist.
Wow.
Neighbor was a nurse. So it's like the type of flexibility once you get adjusted and get into being a nurse,
Yeah.
like you get the best of both worlds. But like you said in the beginning, it's like you're pulling your hair out because you work in extra shifts. You
Mm-hmm.
got people calling out. You know, I can't imagine what it was like working through COVID. Like I know that time was.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But exactly, I remember just feeling super defeated because I was like, no, like that dream that I had, you
Is
know,
being taken over by my 9 to 5.
yeah. And but this is the 9 to 5 that I worked really hard for. Like that piece of paper that I graduated with, like that's the
Right.
most piece of paper that I own, like that I remember working really hard. And so I was just stuck. I just felt torn really between the two. And I hated that because I loved nursing and I also really loved real estate too. So I spent the next, I guess, 4, almost 5 years working. And that time went by so fast, but I spent that time kind of always wanting to get back, like get back. I gotta get back. Like perfecting my, I guess, nursing skills and but still just having the desire to tap
Yeah.
into that big dream that I had like for the longest.
But
Um,
can I ask,
yeah.
during that time you were working in 9 to 5, were you working on your credit?
Yes. So I bought a house. So I got a
Wait,
job.
wait. So you go ahead. Got the job, worked on credit, bought a house.
So I had really good credit. Like all I needed to do was save up. So I got my first nursing job in October 2014. And I was like, okay, I know I want to buy a house. I don't, you know, I got my real estate license. I want to, you know, I know a little bit of, you know, I'm still a new realtor, but I know a little bit about something. But I know I need to buy a home. I want a house. I want to spend Christmas of 2015 in my home with my son. Like that was my goal. And so I just was working, you know, nursing money and stashing, but my credit was there.
Okay.
When I went to get pre-approved and get my home and everything, I was at a 768. I was very proud of that.
Nice.
I mean, I'm young. I was what, 24 or something like that. Like
Nice.
I closed on my home September 2015. So I was very, very driven about that goal. Um, in hindsight, I would have done it a little differently. I remember looking at multi-units and having the desire to stay in one
Rent
and rent
one.
out the other. And unfortunately, I listened to family members that were like, you don't want to be nobody's landlord. That's going to be too much. They're going to be da-da-da-da.
They
And
they put their
limiting,
thought.
limiting beliefs, I call it.
Mm, mm.
And it's something I mean, to this day, if I talk to anybody and I say, like, if I could do it over, that's what I would do. Like, I kick myself in the butt to this day.
Especially back then, what the prices were back in 2015.
Would have been cool. Like, what? I would have been very good.
But like you said, the fact that you still pushed through and you did complete your goal by 2015,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like, I get it, but I'm also saying, still, you did a dope thing. You put yourself in position, and that was the first property you purchased as a first-time home buyer. But again, I tell people, if you know what the end goal is, and like you just said, you keep chipping away. So hey, I know I need a 9 to 5 that'll pay me X amount of money that I can live a life that I want to live,
Right.
save enough money to put me towards my goal. So you're talking 2015. This is now 2022, and then 2015. How long till you bought the first investment property after 2015?
I bought that in 2020. So when I got my personal house, nobody tells you that your personal credit is going to take a dive. Nobody tells you that. So
For a little bit. For a little bit.
oh, okay. Well, I struggled because I went from that 768 to 650.
Oh,
And I couldn't believe it because I babied that 768. You know what I mean? I was like this with my credit. And so I kind of spent time almost like floundering, like, and trying to get to a point where I was there again.
okay.
And then, you start getting this credit card, you start doing this,
Life.
I got my house, I got my car, like I can whatever a little bit. And then I kind of got a little loose with my credit. So, fast forward to 2018, I discovered the Better Than Success group. Do you remember?
Nicole Purvio. I know. Salute to Nicole, Mark.
Yeah. So I discovered that group. It was like November something 2018. I remember that because they had this big wire, like women in real estate.
Yep.
Was great. It opened up my eyes to a lot because I'm like, okay, I've always had this like burning desire for real estate, but I'm thinking like I have to be a realtor. I never considered being a real estate investor. I mean, even when I wanted to get the multi-unit property, I just didn't consider that to be a real estate investor. Yeah,
right.
it didn't click with me. So when I'm in this room with all these like-minded people that I remember I invited one of my girlfriends to come with me. She's been killing it too. But like, I'm in this room with all these people and speaker after speaker, and you're just talking about things that were just new concepts for me. And I was like, okay, I'm in the right place because even if I was like, I feel like I don't want to say the dumbest one in the room, but I kind of almost feel like I am, which is the right room to be in when you're trying to propel yourself forward. And so I made some connections, and I got my credit repaired by Herman, the
Yes, sir.
CEO,
Yes, ma'am.
and he got me back to the 700 Club.
That was all you needed, right?
That was all I needed.
So me and my partner Lorenzo, Jackson Rental Homes, we talk about this all the time. You just said something. Being in the room at the right time, like
Yeah.
sometimes that's just all you need. But at the same token, I tell people you don't know what you're gonna get from most of these events. But the important thing is to show up. If you go to 5 different events and get 1 or 2 things and add those things to your tool belt, like you said, you're hearing things that are new to you or things that are familiar, but just from different angles and strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, wait, I knew this, but I didn't know I could do this with the same thing I was trying to do.
Yeah. I think at that at that summit that I went to, I realized that I had put a lot of limiting beliefs on myself. So the speakers are going up and they're telling their story, and the one girl is like, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. I'm like, I have more than what she like. I had to actually think about that. I've got resources and access to more than what this person had, but yet still she's here. And so I was like, okay, something's not right. Like, is it me? Am I making excuses? do I have limiting beliefs? And that's when I discovered, like, okay, it was me kind of saying, like, oh, I don't know if I can, I don't know. I'm a nurse. I'm just a nurse. Like, I don't know if I can,
Man,
you know.
you got the cheat code. You got the cheat code being a nurse, because you could go run up a shift on the weekend and have the rest of the week off. The rest of the week you looking at houses, everybody else is at work.
Exactly. But again, you just kind of, time just passes you and you don't really, like, I don't know, you might make excuses. Like, I have no problem admitting this. You make excuses, you kind of like talk yourself out of things. And like, I think when I realized that I was doing that, I was like, okay, something's got to change. And decided to get my credit repaired because I know that's what I needed to do. Now I'm understanding that I can still be in real estate, but from an investment standpoint.
Okay.
Now I'm educating myself about that. And fast forward to 2020, I did Jumpstart Germantown.
Nice. Nice.
And that is where I learned about HELOCs and PLOCs.
So for those who don't know, can you tell people about HELOCs and PLOCs, please?
HELOCs and PLOCs are the best thing that you'll do yourself a favor. If you own a home, take out a PLOC. If you do not own a home, but your credit is in good standing, get a PLOC. I think I might have mixed that up. But HELOCs for homes, so that's home equity line of credit.
Mm-hmm.
And you leveraging the equity in your home and utilizing that really for whatever you want to use it for. And it is a revolving line of credit. And so let's just say your HELOC line is $39,000. That was what my first one was. And I can use that entire $39,000, without penalty or whatever. You just, you need to pay it back, but you can pay it back, rinse and repeat. So that's the beauty about it. And then
Right.
same for PLOC. So PLOC is personal line of credit. The only thing is that it's not taking into account any equity in your home. It's just, a personal loan that a bank, credit union, not just bank, credit unions are very giving with their PLOC.
You're Delaware County, so you went to Franklin Mint?
Franklin Mint, police and fire.
Look, I know all of Franklin Mint gave me my first line of credit, personal line of, but I fumbled it the first time.
Okay.
I fumbled it. I tell people I was in real estate, so I'm seeing people doing stuff. So it's like, man, I got a couple dollars. I got the line of credit. I could live life because I'll make the money and pay it back. And then a couple times I ain't pay it back. And then you start peeling on it and peeling on it. Next thing you know, you owe the whole thing and you ain't got no money coming in to pay it back down. So now you're making these monthly payments, and
Right.
with the interest, it don't really go nowhere.
Exactly.
So it took me a good minute to finally pay it off. But now, once you pay it off, like you said, that's just an added tool to go towards buying real estate.
Exactly.
And that's the other difference between your growth. If you can learn to be disciplined and separate your finances from business and personal early on, like you said, limiting beliefs. I thought I only could buy one single family. Now I know I could have been buying 4 units, 6 units way earlier, if I would have had somebody tell me that sooner. Or if I just would have listened sooner. I'm gonna just put it on me. It was me. I probably wasn't listening.
Yeah. Well, and that may be, but you learn, right? You
Right.
live, learn. So, beginning of 2020, I started the year, and I'm like, my goal for 2020 and moving forward is to continue to put myself in rooms with like-minded strangers. I literally have had that written down somewhere. I'm like, that is what my intentions are for myself, because I want to be more intentional about real estate, and I need to, meet these goals that I had set. And so I learned about the HELOCs and the PLOCs. I also got my self-directed IRA as well.
Ooh,
So
you was killing them.
stop playing.
You was killing them. And
But that's what I got from putting myself in rooms with like-minded strangers.
you didn't even tap into business credit yet.
Not yet.
Right.
So, but like that, those things to me were just invaluable because I don't think that like that whole thing about like auditing your circle and stuff like that is real because I didn't necessarily have somebody on the other line of my phone saying like, girl, what about PLOCs and PLOCs? And you know what I mean? Like that came from me going by myself to, seminars, by myself to whatever, and just saying, I'm friendly. I'll make friends when I get there. I'll talk to somebody when I get there. Like
At least one person. If I meet one new person.
exactly.
But in addition to that, I think the dope thing is the fact that you just were showing up. Again, the key thing during the whole time is show up and use what you have. So people, I feel like social media wise, they say 9 to 5. Nah, no. Your 9 to 5 is putting you in position. You're talking about having a consistent job history from 2015
Yeah.
to 2020. So
Right.
you look better on paper than I do, even with my experience, because you have something that they call stability.
Exactly. I mean, so I started travel nursing back in 2020 as well. So that helped a great deal, a great
I was
deal.
gonna say I ain't gonna tell them your business, but I know about them travel nurses.
Okay, and that's gonna stay between me. Okay, so that helped a great deal with me being able to zero out my PLATs as I kept rinsing and repeating. So I got my first property July 2020. So you might know Mr. Monopoly or Matt.
I do. I put a big on me. I do.
Yeah. So I actually tapped him because again, I started following all these people. Like I'm following, Aisha Selden. I'm just trying to get all this information that I can. So he was one of the people that I followed. And I saw that he was like doing like concrete work or something. And I needed a new retaining wall and concrete steps at my house. So I tapped him for that. I'm like, hey, do you do that kind of work? Can you, I need that.
Help me out.
Yeah, exactly. So then also I see that he does wholesaling and he's got, I'm like, oh, well, all right. I've learned about wholesaling. I didn't think I wanted to be a wholesaler. Like, shout out to y'all. Like, but that's just not what I wanted to do. But I knew that, like, that might be a great way for me to find an off market property, whatever. So when he was here at my house, actually doing the job that I hired him to do, we start talking about other stuff.
Right.
And he's like, I got a property, but he was like, I'm talking to him, I'm telling him that, how ready I am. I did the credit repair, I did this, and he's like, all right, so what are you waiting on, basically?
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know what I'm waiting on. And he was like, all right, well, I've got this property here and it's a good one. And I think, this might be a good one for you. And I'm like, so now I'm starting to freak out. I'm like, oh my God, is this it? I have no idea. And then, at the time, Matt was a new GC himself.
Right.
And so, he and I just start communicate or whatever. I talk about I actually go see the property. I'm like, wow. For my first one, I'm thinking I just want lipstick on a pig. I don't want the whole
Full gut.
correct. However, it wound up being the whole but Matt did the GC work. So I got the property from him and he GC'd it as
Okay.
well. So, and it was such a great learning experience, like for me. So he and I had really built a rapport and because my biggest thing is like I don't want to be taken advantage of like in this game, because I don't care what nobody says, it can happen and will happen if you're not, you know. And for me, who's just learning, who's probably so wet behind the ears, naive, like all of that. And I'm sorry, the way that I am just like this unicorn and rainbows. Like nobody would, I would never do that to them, so they're not gonna do that to me. Like
in real estate, boy, they gonna try everything they can.
I'm telling you.
Yo, you're a professional and you signed up to do this foolery? No, my second deal, I lost 25,000. I think my second or third, I lost 25,000 because I was wet behind the ears and I had got a little too ahead of myself, I would say. And you know, like you said, I'm like, they wouldn't do that. What grown man would walk away from and take my money, even though I willingly handed it to him?
And they will. Like that's the part that like is a wake up call. Like that's the slap in the face right there. But like, so for me, I was just like super like whatever. But I didn't get that. That was my experience with him at all, and I was so grateful. You know, his thing was like, listen, I see your potential. I see what you're trying to do. I'm gonna just, you know, let you know what I know or whatever. And, you know, while I'm GCing this, you can look over my shoulder. And I'm like, what? Like, that's amazing. Like, that's crazy. And I'm like, at no cost, like not at no cost, but like at no.
Right. Like, well, I'm getting on the job training with my own money. Right.
And so that entire project was such a learning experience for me. That was my first investment property. And what I was saying earlier, it was supposed to be a buy and hold.
But can I guess the rehab budget turned it into a fix and flip?
Yes. And the market 2021 was crazy. Like
it went up.
Yeah, everything. But like, as we're working on this property and I'm like, oh, and I'm telling Matt, I'm like, I want this, I want that, I want this. He's like, this is a rental. Like, you need to, you know, so as he's trying to rein me in, I'm like, no, that's, we need to have this finished.
You watching them HGTV shows. You don't realize, like, you know that's going to cost you, though. I'm going to give it to you, but it's going to cost you.
And he's telling me, like, that's not in the budget. Your budget is, you need to pick something that is within this. And I'm like, but those options are ugly. I went that, like, I will say, like, hats off to him, because he had so much patience with me that probably other people would not have had, because, you know, but it was, again, that HGTV and just me thinking it's supposed to be whatever. But one thing about it, you need to have money. And I hate, even if you don't have the money in your checking account, you need to have access to funds, because things will pop up. And that happened with my project. Hence the tears that I was referring to earlier. You know, like, we had to do a tree removal. That's not in the budget. Trees are horrible. I never want to buy another property where there's a tree.
Between roots, the cement work, all of that.
And it was all of that. And so that tree removal was like, I don't know, like over $5,000 outside of the construction budget. Like, that doesn't come from the construction budget. So, like, let's say if I didn't have that PLOC, that rinse and repeat, like that rinse and repeat floated me through my project. Because then don't forget, I use the hard money loan. So I have interest payments every month, regular bills, other random things that pop up. Like, one thing I would say, if, you know, somebody wants to get into this, you have to position yourself for, you know, things that are like, it's not if something's going to pop up, it's when something is going to pop up.
No, it's funny you said it. So I literally just finished 2 houses,
Yeah.
and the things that, like you said, like I'm thinking I'm done. Sewer line in the front of the house. That's 6,500 that I need. You
Hmm.
know, then in the back of the house, we got water coming in through the back. Didn't come in the whole rehab. We're done the house. Luckily, I didn't finish the basement.
Like
So
what?
now, so it's like, oh, we thought we were done, but we're not done with you just yet.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, where did you find the real estate seminars?
The one seminar, like I guess the BTS Wire Summit, I just saw it on my Explorer page on Instagram, and I was like, "What is this? This is in Philly. This is."
Yeah. So if you want to tap in some of the different networks, or to your point, if you just hashtag whatever you're looking for, Black real estate agent, women in real estate,
Yeah.
and you'll start finding your tribe.
Yeah.
Um, and then so Nicole Purvey, you can find her on social media. Better Than Success, you can find that on social media. And then just a piggyback, little shameless plug, we have a networking event to your point, because for me, 2021, I was able to scale by hanging out with different people that I normally like. I see them in passing, but we don't hang out. And then to your point, they put me on business credit.
Yeah.
Business for me was the game changer. I knew about personal lines of credits, but the business credit, and then improving my credit, so the line of credits in the business that don't show up in your personal name, and then buying apartment buildings. I bought my first 6-unit apartment building last year from hanging out with guys that were buying 6 units, a small deal for them. They're like, I need 12 and up. Can you find me those? And I'm like, oh,
6.
right. That's how it is. Like you said, it's like, yo, I'm normally like you, like, oh, I'm the strong person in the room. But when you start hanging out with other people and you realize, like, I'm really just scratching the surface. But don't put that against yourself or be too hard on yourself, because you're still doing something powerful that, again, as first generation entrepreneurs and goal chasers, that's the things we're doing. They're not normal. They're
No.
not.
And it's hard when those things weren't modeled for you. Like, that's not my story,
Right.
some like, oh, my grandma owned prop. Nope, 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 nope. Those financial literacy, everything that I'm discussing right now, those things weren't modeled, not because they didn't want to, they just also didn't have
Right.
the or the know-how. So a lot of this is learned, just immersing yourself, um, getting uncomfortable. Okay. There's a
Being
lot of,
okay with being uncomfortable.
yeah, there's a lot of discomfort involved, but like, I mean, you're not gonna, you don't find success in comfort zones. I don't feel like you have to get uncomfortable and
Oh
step
no,
out.
that's 100%. That's a
Yeah.
100%. No,
Yeah.
and then also I was going to say, so I don't know what you're doing next Friday, but you should pull up. We're having an event at the Fitler Club next Friday from 6 to 9 to kick off Memorial Day weekend. So we're going to have a couple hard money lenders there, some refinance lenders. Um, our favorite title company, Quick Abstract's going to be there. And then again, like-minded investors that are doing this business, on a large scale, small scale, and even some new investors that are going to be there. Our special friend Akila, she's from California. She's invested in Philadelphia now. She just
Wow.
bought her first fix and flip from coming to our events. She
Okay.
caught same thing. She caught a wholesaler. She learned about the business credit, and now she's using her income from her job, and she's plugging and playing. I think she's staying here like for 2 months. She's like, I'm gonna get the thing rolling, and then I'm going back to college. And she
Wow.
got a partner with the contractor. So it's like when you hear these stories again, find your tribe and get in the room. You'd be surprised what you'd be able to be capable of to do. So,
Yeah.
I'll drop that in my story when we get off of here. I don't know
Okay.
if Lorenzo's here, but he might drop the link in the comments, but I'll drop that in the story. But just let me know if you want to come. We'll make sure we get you a VIP ticket.
Thank you. So, oh, that's awesome. I guess maybe, I guess I left off at being able to buy the house. Now I'm working through it. I'm renovating and learning as I go, and certain mishaps are occurring, but we finally do make it through.
Oh,
Don't forget, lumber went up. significantly, like all of this crazy, weird COVID stuff.
Budget was supposed to be 60, probably turned into 80, 90, you know.
And then all the while, I'm still working through this pandemic, like as a nurse. And it was just a lot. Like, you know, at one point, I was sent down to Texas for almost a month or whatever. Like thank God, you know, the project is still rolling. Matt is just seeing it, you know, but like it it was a it was just a lot. I had just a lot going on. So there was no, you know, realtor Karima during that time because there's just so much going on, and you know, just the unknown of the virus and all of this stuff. And so I got back home from that, and let's say March, I am with the same or with a different brokerage, and I am definitely being more intentional now about like, okay, I've done the real estate investing. I really like that. I want to continue doing that, but I still really want to be a realtor. Like
Wait, wait. Before you go realtor, did you finish flipping the property?
I flipped it officially in August of 2021.
You listed it yourself or you had somebody else list it?
So
So you worked during the pandemic, rehabbed the property during the pandemic, made it through the pandemic, and then sold your own flip.
I did.
Remember what you just did? Did you hear that?
When you say it, it sounds crazy, but it's true.
No, that is amazing. Like I don't know if you toot your own horn enough, but I'm saying salute. Drop some fire emojis or some hearts in there for her because
Oh.
that's not something like yo, we're out here like yeah, we sell a house. No, you're working in a pandemic, helping people, risking your life. Meanwhile, sending text messages and pictures while you're rehabbing a property, trying to pick out paint colors and
Yeah.
hard floors.
It was, I think being able to list my own flip was just the craziest thing. It almost felt like everything came around full circle. Like it felt that way. It felt just like here, Karima, here's the best of the like both worlds. Like this is what you wanted to do. And it's still, you know, sometimes I probably don't stop to think and say like, wow, I don't really do that. I just okay, what's next? Yeah. But I think that the funnest part, the best part was having my son with me this whole time. Like I had him in that house. Come on, we sweeping this, we gotta do this. Like he
Right.
was there with me, at closing. I wish he was here. He's not here tonight, but um he was there with me when I closed. He was there with me when we first went in. He was there with me when we gutted it and, you know, had everything demoed. He saw the whole thing step by step. He was picking out tile with me. I'm talking about money in front of him because I just want that. I want to normalize that for him. I like what wasn't, yeah, what wasn't normalized for me, I want that to be normalized for him. So when I'm talking big numbers, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's 10,000. He was like 10,000. Yeah, 10,000. You know what I mean? Like I need you. I need this kid to know your mom works hard, and these, you know, this is what I want for him to just seem like normal. I just wanted to come normal to him, easy to him. So having him with me during the whole process, and even when, you know, I sold it and we talked, as little as he was, uh, maybe he didn't understand all the numbers and stuff, but I tried to put it in smaller terms just so he understands, like, mommy bought the property for this much. Mommy sold it for that much. This is what I would like to see you do when you get older. And just the fact that it was modeled for him should eliminate limiting beliefs altogether. Like, oh, I saw my mom do it. I could do it.
Right. No, The dope thing is, I don't know if you, or we'll see when he gets older, but the fact that you put the seed there, something will click at some point. He'll be somewhere and he'll be like, my mom did that. She did this. This is what it looks like now and then, or even just putting the play together.
Yeah.
It'll click. And like you said, you did this in college. So imagine you get him started in the 12th grade, real estate license before you go off to school, you know, whatever football, school, camp, whatever sports you want to play, son, but I need you to do this before you go. So
Yeah.
you already got it in motion.
That's my goal. That is when you get back to the whole big why thing, that's where it is for me. I just want him to, I always said, like, I just want my son to be proud of me. And like, of course, you know, as a mom, it's like, they're gonna be. The kids love their parents no matter what. But for
Right.
me, it was so important to me that like certain things are modeled for him. Certain things are just demonstrated and normalized for him. So um, a lot of what I do is just really geared towards my son and
Like,
just he's good, comfortable, educated, not just in school, but outside, you know, that, and just immersed in things that are different.
that's amazing. So have you done more deals since the first fix and flip?
No, oh my gosh. So that was September. No. That was August. Actually, you could just call it September because it was like the last day of August. And then I had also started a personal renovation, like in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Or lived through a renovation, you know, that is the worst thing in the world, like living in
Yeah.
a control zone. So that I took a travel assignment. I closed on the house and then I left for like almost 3 weeks. And I took a travel assignment and I was not home. And then I came back home and then worked through the winter. And so that home renovation wasn't really like, it took a little while too. So I kind of like took a step back to recover from that and then kind of trying to think of my next move and what I want to do. Like I have the proceeds from my last
Flip.
success
Right.
and at this point now I'm looking for my next so I can keep it rolling. I didn't like that I took that break, but I think I kind of needed it after a series of things occurred. So now I'm ready to get back out there and actually keep it going.
So I'm saying in a perfect world, how many deals you need to close out this year?
In a perfect world, if I could close out 3, I would be happy.
All right, so I'm saying this is, uh-oh, get this, lose you.
I'm
So
good.
this is, what is this, May?
It's May.
Right, so you technically got to have probably 1 to 2 deals purchased by June. So you up for it?
Yeah.
How long is it taking you to rehab?
What's that?
Say it again. How long is
What
it
did you
taking you
say?
to rehab a property? How long is it taking you to rehab a property?
Um, I don't want to use the last one as example because that took very long. But it had to do with like, you know, just logistical stuff, COVID.
Right. So in a perfect world, how long would it take you?
I would like to get in and out in less than 6 months, like 3 months. That would be ideal.
So let's say 4. Let's say 4 to 5.
Oh,
Say it again.
we're talking lipstick on a pig. We're not talking full
Full guts.
guts. Yeah.
Oh, so then 3 months, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Like the
She said, I
full,
don't want to take nothing else to the brick. Not right now. Not right now.
not right now. I mean, I will if the numbers are there, if everything is what it should be, I'll do it. If we're talking lipstick on a pig, I think 3 months is cool.
No, that's so. If that's the case, then yes, because I've learned now the guts are good, but doing the lipsticks on the pigs, they kind of help you get the momentum. So
Yeah.
like if I could do 1 gut and then 2 lipstick on the pigs, I'll get my rental money coming in, and then I'll get my big bag from the flip coming in all while I'm constantly
Exactly.
turning. And I can keep the
That
contractors all rotating.
that's what I am trying to do here. Like that is a good setup for me. The gut. So okay, a full gut. What's your timeline on a full gut?
So before this year, I was knocking them out in 3 to 4 months. But this year is taking me long because of L&I and permits. It might take me 2 months just to get permits.
Don't even get me started on that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if I'm, if I know somebody that knows somebody and we happen to forget the permits, I'm in and out in 3 to 4 months.
Nobody heard that. Nobody heard that.
I ain't gonna lie. I try to do right. I do right normally, and they force my hand, because again, I'm paying hard money, and again, I have goals. So it's like for me, I kind of depend on the real estate money, whether it's me being an agent or whether I'm doing a rehab property. So that's why I say I salute people who have 9 to 5s, because you can separate the money a lot easier versus like when you buy these properties, if you quit your job, you don't get paid till you finish that house. So hopefully you got
I know.
something, another hustle, to be able to provide for your family. Or if you've got enough rentals coming in, that's what you're going to eat off of. You're going to live off the rentals. So, but yeah, six, I'm saying 6 months roughly. 6 months roughly.
That's fair. You made a point. So you often I'm like stuck in this uh again, this torn type of state because I love nursing, but I always felt like, if I could do real estate full time, maybe I would have achieved, some of my real estate goals sooner, or who knows, like, the possibilities really are endless in real estate. Like, so I always struggle with like, do I want to leave nursing? And sometimes when I say yes, especially when it's like a frustrating day at work, but like sometimes I'm like, no, because I really actually miss like what I do. So what I have been working on are just different streams of income to help keep real estate going. Like obviously nurse money and whatever, that rinsing and repeating of my lines, like that keeps me going. But
Mm-hmm.
if I found alternate streams of income that would replace the nursing income, but then it would also free that time up for me to do more real estate related activities. Like, so that's sort of what I've been working on, for the last couple of months. So I kind of
Can
got
I
to take
give
a
some
little
input?
step back. Yeah, please.
Can I give?
Yeah.
You say yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
I gotta always try to ask. So I'm saying, for you, being that you have the finances, you have the team, you have the resources, right?
Right.
Well, maybe always look for a property, but rev up your agent business. If you rev up the agent business, you cut back the nursing. Don't quit, but cut it
No.
back, because again, you've got a job where you can work part-time or per diem, right? Per diem.
Yeah. Yep.
So you can pick up a shift. So
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing to pick up a shift. If you set it up where like I'm gonna work 2 days this week, 2 days next week, as long as you cover your mortgage and your car note insurance, the other money, wherever you get it from, is extra.
Mm-hmm.
So mapping it out. But that's why I say, like, whatever the job is, but in particular, I love nurses because y'all got endless flexibility and everybody always needs you guys. Somebody
Yeah.
always needs a nurse. And then the other cheat code for you is, you ready?
Yeah.
You ready? So in addition to doing the travel nurses, so like now you can service travel nurses by getting housing and strictly focusing the travel nurses, because you already have the community in your network, right? But if you want to go up the next step, home health care, you've already got the background. So
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing for you to get a home health care license. And then I'll take it with the real estate part. You buy a building, and I'm telling you with home health care, and this is just what I'm learning now. Like, I'm trying to get out of having to buy 30 properties, and I just want to put a business in my real estate. So I'm talking certain things in home health care. You can get paid anywhere from $1,000 a day per person that's in your home health care facility, or
Mm-hmm.
some places would pay up to 10,000 per month to live in your I'm talking about just a regular residential property. So imagine you got two patients living in your property and they're paying you $1,000 a day or even $10,000 a month. Average rent is $1,500. You're only making $500. Now you're talking your $1,000 mortgage and you got a home health care patient giving you $10,000 a month. How many houses you need to quit all of that stuff?
Right. Wow.
You're already dedicated to the licensing part and studying for tests. So it's like if you can learn the home health care part, whether it's assisted living or disabled veterans, whatever you want to plug and play, you can do it all on your own.
So this is funny because you're not the first person to mention this to me. I actually have a very good friend. I don't know if he's on this live, but he is dabbling or not dabbling. He's doing it like home health care.
Come on, Hot
Plus,
Shot.
yeah, you know him.
So I know. So I know a few people. You don't know. I know but we're in the same circle.
Okay,
We're in the
so
same circle.
he's definitely, I mean, he's hitting it from all kinds of angles as well. The transportation, the this, the that. So I was actually talking to him about it recently, and I'm just watching him do his thing. I mean, but thank you for mentioning that. I might have to give him a call because.
But you got a Christian license, so you actually could go a step above what he's doing because your
Yeah,
credentials, again, you're so even to the investors. So I tell people like, you don't have to be an agent to be an investor, but having that agent license, it puts you in other opportunities and in situations that just being an investor, you might not be able to do. But at the same token, sometimes just being an investor gets you in other rooms. But again, I don't like to limit myself. So I want all them credentials if I can get them. I want
yeah,
them all.
same, same.
So
I'm as well.
definitely. So, but a couple questions for you right before we get off here. They try to kick us off.
Okay.
Give us your top two books, whether it's real estate or business, or even if it's just self-development.
So I just read a book called Profit First. I can't remember the
Okay.
author. Um, but that was really good because it talked about an entirely different concept, um, where you have a business and you make money, and then whatever money you make from whatever you sold, you subtract your expenses, and then that's your profit. And this entire book flips that traditional way of thinking on its head and saying you have your business and you sell whatever you sell and you take your profit first. And if what's left over isn't enough to cover your expenses, then you need to adjust what your expenses are. And
Okay. I
therefore,
like that. Don't adjust the expenses.
yeah, it's saying like you can't afford to pay yourself first, then your operating expenses are too much for your business. So
Right.
in
Okay.
concept, uh, and I kind of was thinking about how I could apply that moving forward. So that's one book. And then I kind of listen to podcasts. So Get Rich or Drunk Trying.
Get rich or
Or Drunk
say it one
Trying.
more time. Drunk try. I'm like, I wanted to make sure
Get
I
Rich.
heard that right.
You heard me. Yep, you heard that right. It's I know it's this girl, she's, what's her name, Asia or whatever, but she's kind of like my spirit animal a little bit, but a lot of it is entrepreneurial based. But then we're talking self-care, we're talking, luxury, we're talking, businesses, how to scale your business. So it's a little like mix of a lot of stuff. So I like to listen to that. And then YouTube, I'm just constantly probably watching some type of video that pops up on my timeline about what newest credit union is the one that we need to tap. Like I'm all about tapping obscure credit unions. I just tapped one recently and I'm willing to share, but it's ECU. And they're based in PA.
Okay.
And max funding from them. So I just picked up a 20K PLOC.
A personal.
Yeah, personal.
Okay.
I picked up a 20K PLOC and a 30K credit card from this very obscure credit union based in PA. So that's one of my favorite things. Say it again.
It's up the northeast. It's up the northeast.
I think it's based in Harrisburg.
Oh, you did everything online.
Everything online.
And I don't gotta leave the house.
Nope.
But again, look, just being on the IG live, you just gave us 50K right there. Just being on the IG live.
Listen, tap into it. PS, I don't mind sharing. I'm a, whatever you want to know, I'll tell you. They got plenty of money. Like, I got mine.
So real quick, right? Did we have to open up the account first?
Yeah. So, and then you have to be a member, and then that, what is that, like $20? Like, you know, if you don't have, just like very many credit unions, if you're not affiliated with certain companies, and you can pay their parks and recreation department a donation of like $5, and now you're a member. And so as soon as I became a member and opened up the account, I tapped in.
Nice. So now you got access to more capital to go do,
Correct.
like we talked about, to go do more deals.
That's right.
I love it. That's what's up. That's what. Well, look, you don't gotta give us nothing else. If that's all you gave us right there, I think I know I'm good. I know I'm good. But if you guys like this live, like that information, let me see a couple fire emojis. But no, you definitely have a dope story, Karima. I definitely salute to you. I appreciate you. We'll be reaching out to you again because we probably got to get you to do. I don't know if you know, but you got to share this story in person. I feel like we got to get you to share this in person.
I don't mind. I thank you for inviting me. I mean, I'm just like, what do I have to talk about? What does he want to talk to me? I message you. I'm like, what are we going to be talking about? Because I'm thinking like my little old whatever. But let's.
No, I was just saying, like it's every person who makes a stride, and whether it's 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter. You've done something that most people haven't done. You got off the bench. You stayed steady to your goal, whether it took you 2 years or 5 years. You still did it. Like I was talking to my friend Keith, and he was like, "You're actually the best teacher because you're the person with the most recent experience." So like I've done this, so like my mindset's kind of skewed, but you being fresh into it, fresh out of it, you're the best teacher because you're going to give it to them raw and uncut.
Right. I guess so. I think hearing you say that makes me more comfortable because, you know, again, that could probably be like residual limiting beliefs where I'm like, there's so many heavy hitters out here. My low story. But you know what? Everybody at different levels. And I feel like if me sharing my experience, you know, helps the other nurse who also is looking for opportunity or looking for a way, like it, I'm happy to share. So thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Thank you. I'm trying to tell you, another nurse, another mom, another person that works a 9 to 5, it don't even matter. This is gonna inspire somebody. So when you see me blowing this up on YouTube and on Instagram, you know why. All right, I told you first.
Okay, I look forward to it.
So if anything else, your last 30 seconds that you want to leave the people with that I may not have asked or that you just want to let them know, go ahead and give it to them.
Um, I think that with anything, what you want to do is maximize your mindset. I hear people talk about mindset all the time. I'm here to tell you and anybody else that, like, if you believe that you can't, then you can't. But if you believe that you can, then you can. And it might sound really simple, but I sometimes everybody, like, you can be your own worst enemy. Just the same way that I might not have had all the answers, but I had the desire and I had the drive. And um, I might have made an excuse or two, but then I didn't make my excuses derail me from what my actual goals were. And I think that if people are just focus, put yourself in rooms with like-minded strangers, that is probably where that was probably most beneficial to me. I learned how to use the banks, use other people's money. I learned all those things that you hear people make little reels about, but I learned that actually firsthand by strangers, people that I don't even know this person, but they're happy to share because they also know that they're in a room with like-minded people and they're there
Right.
to see what we can learn, and they're imparting things on me. I'm a total stranger, but I think that when you're just intentional about your goals, and intentional about the steps that you take to get there, you really can, achieve what you want. And also, it's like it'll happen. You don't even know it. Like for me, as I'm talking to you about my story or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, I did do that. I that too. Sure, yes, I did list my own first flip. I didn't even like, to me that is a big deal, but I didn't even stop to say like this is a big deal. It's just because like that was the goal and I needed to knock that goal down. So don't forget your big why, because that is what is going to continue to propel you forward. Stay focused, maximize your mindset, and crush these goals. And just be true to yourself as well. In this social media age, be true to who you are.
Well, again, we thank you. Please make sure you guys like, share, and follow Karima, and even use her for real estate business. So she is out here looking for clients. Tap in with her so she can help you buy your house or an investment property. And I don't know, we might have to talk to you about coming over to the Good Neighbor family as well. So, you know,
True.
because one of our agents, he works for University of Penn, so he plans on tapping into the hospital he works at to use his real estate license to bring that business full circle. So
Wow, it's a big deal.
hey, we plug and play. That's what we here for. So
Check out the
again,
good.
thank. Well, definitely thank you. There go Kyrie. He on here. He's on here. So definitely thank you again. Wish you nothing but the best of luck, and we'll definitely be in touch. And I'll send you that information. Like I said, if you can pull up next week, let me know.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.